Hello. I hope you're all doing well. And if not, I at least hope that your night improves. Hello, Bree. I hope you're doing well. So, tonight, we're going to be opening these and taking a look at all of them. So, we're gonna be starting with these, though. So, but, yeah. So, we're gonna set these aside for a moment. Because we're gonna take a look at the other ones that we're not gonna use tonight. Well, I don't know for sure if I'm not gonna use this one. I might use this one, or I might use the Millennial Loteria deck. I'm not quite sure. Oh, sorry. First, we gotta open all of them. I haven't opened or looked at any of them. They just arrived like a couple hours ago. So, let's get these open. Also, I was not expecting the Seasons of the Witch tarot deck box to be this big. So, let's set this one on to the side as well, and let's pop it open, yeah? Yeah, that's what I was figuring. I like the little design on the inside of the box, it's cute. I was figuring it was the guidebook. Apparently we're getting a bit of a chonker of a guidebook. Oh. Yep. That's a bit of a chonker of a guidebook. That's cute. So the Seasons of the Witch Oracle decks were co-created by this person and Juliet Diaz. Juliet Diaz didn't work on this deck, on the tarot decks, but it looks like they wrote the foreword to this, so that's cute. That's cute. They include a spread to interview your deck, and that's quite an involved one, actually. So that's interesting. Do they have any interesting card spreads? So these are interesting. Alrighty. Just want to take a peek. Oh, wow. Okay, so there is a lot of information in this. Okay, so that's nice. There is quite a lot. Okay. One thing I do know about this deck, they don't include any reversals in the meanings. Because they apparently don't read reversals, because they didn't see a purpose to them. I like reading reversals because there is nuance. There can be a lot of nuance in the reversals. So, I don't particularly believe that reversals... I really like the thick ribbon in this as well. sometimes you get like really thin ribbons in like deck boxes like this. So I like that there's a thick ribbon. And we have the blue foiling on the side. Ooh. Just like the in bulk Oracle deck. In fact, this does look very similar to the backs of the in bulk Oracle deck, so. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. So we're just gonna do a quick look here. Were there extra cards in this deck? $78 cards. No, they're still using 78 cards. Interesting. Okay, so we should have the entire Major Arcana here, but I noticed that there are some... They changed the last 4 Major Arcana, which is interesting, and this is where I think there's going to be interesting context with each of the seasonal tarot decks that they plan on releasing. They plan on releasing one for each season, and I'm very, very interested in seeing how, like, that, the meaning, particularly with the Major Arcana, but even in the Minor Arcana, how the context of that season shifts the feeling of each card and shifts the context of like the meanings of it. Very curious what their take on this all is. So we're just gonna take a quick look. By the way, we're not gonna take a look through the entire deck. We're not gonna take a look through the entire deck, but we are just gonna quickly look through the Major Arcana. So we have the Winter Fool. Looks like they're going into a cave. I know, that's a doorway from fall, it looks like, to winter. So, interesting. Interesting. The Winter Witch, which this is the Magician. Okay. I like the art for that. The Winter High Priestess. They're with friends. I like that. The Winter Empress. That card is beautiful. Ah, yeah, the High Priestess card is the art for that. Okay. I thought that looked a little familiar. The Winter Emperor. Looks like we're going on a journey of some kind in that card. The Winter Hierophant. I really like the phases of the moon being featured in here. The Winter Lovers. I like that card, actually. I really like that. The Winter Chariot. He's a bird. I got a little passenger right there. Winter Strength. Oh, I love that. I already love the art on these. I already love the art on these. The Winter Hermit. We got the white stag there. That's typically a symbol of a call to like spirituality and beginning on like a spiritual journey. I like that symbol being used in the Hermit. That's the reason why I like the Tarot of the Divine too. It features that same symbol actually. The Winter Wheel. So this is the Wheel of Fortune. Ooh. Okay. I like that. cute. Winter consequences. So this is the justice card. Consequences. Interesting. Interesting. The Winter Hanged Man. I like how they're reading a book. Don't know if that's quite clear on camera there, but they're hanging upside down, just chilling, reading a book. Winter Death. Huh. Interesting. That art is very beautiful. Winter Temperance. Beautiful. I really love the art on these. Winter Devil. The Winter Tower. I like the figure that's on that little cliff there. Huh. Winter Star. Ooh. Okay, that is beautiful. I love that star art card. The art on this star card, rather. Jeez. Brain not work, I guess. And then we have New Moon, which is the moon phase that I think typically is associated with winter. So it makes sense that this would be here, that they would just call the moon New Moon. I love that. And then this one caught my eye because this is the sun, but winter is associated with passing through the darkness, and it's associated with, like, you know, shadow and like the dark before dawn. And the winter is like the midnight of the soul. When you're in like your winter spiritual season, you're in the midnight of your soul. You're steeped in that darkness. I like that. I really like that. So instead of the sun, we have midnight. I love that. And then for the Judgment card, instead we have self-reflection. Which, that, I feel like that does actually fit the Judgment card quite well, actually. Because it's, in context of a normal deck, it can often be about integrating the lessons, like learning the lessons and integrating those lessons so that you can just kind of like move forward and just kind of enter that new cycle. So, I like that. And then instead of the world, we have Ascending to Spring as the final card. So, I love that. I don't mind the changes so far. I will be very, very interested in actually using this deck soon. If you guys all want to, we can use some of these for like a quick collective if you want. So, we are going to be using 2 of them for our readings tonight though, which is probably going to be both of the Loteria decks. But we can still do a quick collective with the decks that we're not using. So, if we want to take a look at either of these, either of the tarot decks that we're not using tonight, we can go ahead and do so, because I am curious. I am very, very curious about how these are going to behave. Particularly this Winter Tarot, even though it's not, you know, like quite winter yet, but hey, whatever. I'll put this in this way. There we go. So that's that one. Let's pop open this one really quick, and I have a feeling that I'm really going to like this one as well. Just based on like what I've seen of it, and that it's also just kind of like called me a little bit as well. I am most excited for the Loteria decks though. And this is the Sugar Skill Tarot deck. I already, like, I've seen bits of the art for this, I already love it. Okay. There's a sugar skull spread included in this deck guidebook. I love that. I like how it forms a face. Okay, I love that. We're just gonna take a quick look. Okay, so decent amount of information, it looks like, for the size of the guidebook. Looks like they're gonna pack like a decent amount of information in the guidebook, and there's a full page art. I appreciate that. And it's in color. I appreciate that a guidebook is in color. Same with like the Seasons of the Witch Winter Tarot. That one was also in full color. I appreciate a guidebook that's in full color. So, oh, I love that. It's a cowboy. The magician is a cowboy. Awesome. Okay. Okay. So, yeah, decent amount of information in here. I like that there's full page art on all of this. I appreciate that. So, yeah. Alright, great. And that did include reversals in the guidebook as well. Oh boy, this is another big tarot deck. I only just now realized that. And also, the edges aren't rounded, they're pointy. Ooh. Okay. Okay, this is a massive tarot deck. This is a massive tarot deck. It's not the biggest that I've used or seen, because I have the Diablo Tarot. No one make it, that's what she said. Joke, please. Alright, again, we're gonna take a quick look at the major arcana only. Real quick. Oh boy, this deck is going to be interesting to use. It truly does. I love it. I adore it. I adore the art style. I love that like sugar skulls are featured like so heavily in all of the imagery here as well. I love that. I love the magician, the cowboy magician. I love the cowboy magician. I love him. High Priestess card is great. I love it. Oh, I love that Empress. That is so beautiful. I love that. The Emperor. Oh, these are just so beautiful. The Hierophant, very, very close in design to the High Priestess. I like that. Ooh. Here's our Lovers card. The Chariot. Strength. I love that. Okay. The Hermit. I like that inside the lantern there's a sugar skull. I love that. Okay. I love that. Oh. Okay. The wheel. I love this Wheel of Fortune card. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. That's a beautiful Justice card. We have the Hanged Man. I love the art style. I love the colors used here in the art. Oh, that death card is beautiful. That death card is beautiful. Oh, I love it. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, that's gorgeous. Devil card is great. That's interesting. That's interesting. There's a single figure on the card, and there's a figure wrapped around. It's a man on the card, and there's a figure that is wrapping themselves around him and blinding him, covering his eyes. I love that. I also like that he's not even chained in place. He's just being held back by that being, the entity. Or the Tower card. Oh, I love that. Oh my goodness. Okay. That star card is beautiful. That star card is beautiful. I really do like the just kind of like Old West theme in the cards too. It's so beautiful. The Moon. That's a beautiful moon card. That's a beautiful sun card. Okay. I like the skeletons. Judgment card is great. Okay. Then we have our world card here. I'm excited to use this one as well. I really am. Like, I love the art style on it already. Yes. Yes. Oh, that's interesting. Things are Huh. Huh. That's interesting. All right. All right, would you like to use either of these for a real quick collective? I'm just gonna feel for either of these. And which one would we like to use? And like this, opening all these decks and all this is part of the reason I started a little earlier tonight, because, yeah. Which one do we want to use? I'm leaning a bit more towards, honestly, this one. Though this one really interests me, but we're not quite in winter yet. So, part of me is like, maybe not. But also, I am interested in this one. So, I don't know. Which one would y'all rather see? Sugar Skull? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. We can give this a shot really quick. We're just gonna do tarot only really quick for our collective. We're just gonna do a real quick tarot only collective. It might be a bit hard to shuffle out. Let me actually. Okay. Nope, those two cards already flipping over. This deck is already right on the fucking money. One moment. There's some cards sticking together. Need one more card. That was 3. I guess these stuck together. Okay. We have the 3 of Swords reversed, the 7 of Swords reversed, because of course, and then the 9 of Cups, and ow, that actually hurts. Pressed him a little too hard holding that fucking deck, and oof. But anyway, I didn't give myself a paper cut, did I? Doesn't look like it. Okay. Sorry. Just making sure I didn't give myself a fucking paper cut with this deck. And also, I see little bits of blue sparkly bits, which tells me that the Seasons of the Witch Winter Tarot kind of shed some of its foil on my hands here. Which is fine. It happens. It happens. Sometimes there's like foil dust that's left behind that just kind of, you know. Yeah. But anyway. We got the 3 of Swords reversed, 7 of Swords reversed, and the 9 of Cups. So this is essentially telling you to let go of all the ways in which you're just kind of like hurting yourself, okay? There might be a lot going on right now, a lot that's just kind of causing pain, and it's just carrying a lot of hurt with you right now, and just kind of carrying it a little too close to the chest, a little too close to the heart. And you're being asked to just kind of try to essentially find some distance from that, okay? Find something that just kind of can take you out of that just emotional space for a bit, okay? And just kind of show yourself kindness and compassion and love. And let go of the ways in which you're self-sabotaging, okay? With that 7 of Swords energy, okay? 7 of Swords is all about self-sabotage. And that comes in many forms, okay? One of the biggest forms that we talk about all the time here is that constant, like, going back to past experiences that went wrong and just expecting the same results out of something. No matter, you know, like, it's focusing on all those things that went wrong and just kind of expecting the worst out of a situation, okay? Due to those past experiences. And just constantly, it's like that energy of just constantly looking over your shoulder, waiting for things to go wrong. Which prevents you from actually being able to enjoy those things in the moment. Because you're taken out of the moment. Because you're too busy planning for everything to go wrong. Like, these things just kind of need to be dealt with more fully so that they're not creating an obstacle in you going after your dreams and the things that you want, okay? Especially when that comes to going after the things that you want, okay? Because, again, when we're just basing everything off of these past experiences, we're just kind of not really allowing ourselves to experience. It can very easily become one of the biggest obstacles to us actually just enjoying these things and just getting to these things and believing that we actually have what it takes to get to this moment, and that this moment is even ever possible in the first place, okay? We often tell ourselves, and this is again a form of self-sabotage, we often tell ourselves that, like, this isn't gonna happen anyway, so why fucking bother? I don't deserve this anyway, so why fucking bother? I don't deserve anything good. I don't deserve the things that I want. I don't deserve the things that would make me happy. I don't deserve better things for myself. I don't deserve a better life. So what's the fucking point of it all? Yeah. That's the self-sabotage energy that we're trying to work through and that we're trying to kind of get rid of, okay? Yeah. So, make sure that you're not getting in your own way here. Make sure that you're not getting in your own way here in terms of, like, going after the things that you want and getting the things that you want. And just kind of, like, going after your dreams here by essentially just kind of self-sabotaging yourself, okay? And just telling yourself that you're not worth it. Or that you don't deserve it. Because neither of those things are true. But the more you tell yourself that, the more you're going to feed into that spiral, and the more you're going to believe it. Okay? So. First time using the Sugar Skull Tarot. And I like how those swords cards were literally the first ones that we got. And that was really fucking on point. It's really, for me, especially, right now. So kindly fuck you, boss, I think. So that was our quick collective with that one. I'm going to take a moment here to enjoy my tea. Also, while I take a tea break, when was it? Sometime at the beginning of, like, last week, I think it was. I ended up ordering a... because I didn't know that there was a Pokemon card with this art on it. So in Pokemon... Oops. My earring just fell out. 1 second. Let me get that one back in there. I'm lucky that didn't plop literally right in my tea. That would have been fun to fish out. But anyway, in Sword and Shield, there's a mechanic that's called what's the actual mechanic called? Is it called Dynamax? And there are special versions of Dynamaxing that's called a Gigantamax form. There's a special Gigantamax version of Meowth that's essentially just Longcat. And ever since I found out about that Pokemon, I was just like, I want it. And, luckily Adam was around and playing Pokemon Sword and Shield back during that time where that event was active, and he ended up just giving me his. But one thing he never told me, the bastard, was that there is a Pokemon card that has the Longcat Meowth art on it. And I adore him. So, I got Longcat Meowth. Yes. See, you know. Hello. But I fucking love Longcat Meowth. I love Gigantamax Meowth. He's one of my favorite Gigantamax forms. He's great. Okay. Our tea break is over. So, now it's time to crack open these ones, and these are the ones that we're actually going to use for all of our readings tonight. These are Loteria themed decks. This is a Loteria themed tarot deck, specifically Millennial Loteria themed, which is a modern take on Loteria that was made by an artist quite some time ago. And this deck was part of that release, because Loteria uses like a lot of the imagery and symbolism that are used in like tarot cards. And I used to play that game all the time growing up. Loteria is also known as Mexican Bingo. I played that game a lot growing up because, well, I'm Hispanic, so yeah. Okay. I also like the little holographic detailing. It is a game that is meant to be played with other people, yes. But I just played it alone sometimes. It was still fun, even just doing that. Okay, so This guidebook doesn't have a lot of information in it. The meanings in here are very, very short and succinct, but it looks absolutely adorable. So, a very small guidebook, but that is okay. Okay, a very simple bats. Again, let's just take a really quick look at the Dragon. We have the Fool, and of course he's wearing a VR headset. We have the Magician. The High Priestess, which is the mermaid that is featured on the front of the box, who is even holding one of the cards here. It looks like she's holding the Fool card from the looks of it. Then we have the Empress. The Emperor. Okay. That's a cute Emperor card, I like that. The Hierophant is a frog. I love that. The Hierophant is a frog. Then we have the Lovers, which, interestingly enough, are the Empress and the Magician. They're the same, like, figures that are depicted on the Empress and the Magician. That's interesting. The Chariot. Strength. The Hermit. Oh my god, that is such an iconic, like, figure. I mean, like, a lot of these are. A lot of these are. Like, the mermaid is as well. But this, I just remember this image being used in actual, like, Loteria. Like, yeah. This is the Hermit. The Wheel of Fortune, which is a spider! I love that. Oh, and then we have Justice. I remember this image as well. The Hanged One, which is a fish. Of course. Of course. Death, which is just a skeleton. Temperance, which is... I'm not quite sure what kind of bird that is. I forget what kind of bird that is right offhand, but interesting. Devil. Also a very recognizable symbol from Loteria. The Tower. Okay. I like that tower card. A star. The moon. The sun, also a very recognizable symbol from Loteria. Judgment. Excuse me, why is that a dick cactus? That's just straight up a cactus dick. Okay. Apparently we're judging some dick pics. Great. And then we got the world card. Then nice. Yeah, these are just like okay. So these are just like pip cards. They're not really fully illustrated. Which is fine. Why is he in his undies? Are all the kings just gonna be in their undies? Oh yeah, instead of pentacles, they use bitcoins. Because again, it's millennial themed. So it's a more modern take on things. So just for the lulz, I guess they just decided to use bitcoins. Okay, so we'll get back to that one here in a moment. Let us open this one here real quick. You're all good, Free. Okay. And here we're going to be getting into slightly more traditional imagery that's associated with Loteria. This is the Loteria Remedios. Loteria Remedios oracle, so. Also, the backs are just patterned. Very pretty. How many cards? There are 54 cards in this oracle deck, so it's a little bit more than your standard oracle deck. So, nice. Okay. We got the rooster. El gallo. The little devil. Interesting. The lady. The gentleman. That's what his name is. I couldn't quite remember what the traditional name of that figure would have been. The umbrella. The mermaid. It's such a beautiful mermaid card. The ladder. The bottle. The barrel. The tree. The melon. Real Anson. The valiant. Yeah. The hat. Death. I love the art on these so far. The pear. The flag. The guitar. That is an older, much older version of a guitar, but yes. The cello. The heron. The bird. Its little toes are becoming roots in the ground. Interesting. The hand. The boot. The moon. It's a parrot. It's a parrot. Okay. The drunk. The black man. With a heart. That's such a pretty art piece. The watermelon. The drum. The shrimp. I love that. That's funny. The arrows. The musician. The spiders. The soldier. And this is the imagery that the knight cards in that tarot deck are actually pulling from. The star. Such a pretty star card. The pan. The world. The Apache. The cactus. This just makes me want cactus. Cactus is so delicious. It's so delicious. The scorpion. The rose. The skull. I'm kinda sad they didn't use a sugar skull. But that's okay. The bell. The pitcher. The deer. The sun. The crown. The boat. The pine tree. The fish. The palm tree. The flower pot. The harp. And the frog. I love the little frog in all their stages of life, and I like the lotus flower. Gee, I wonder what this card is gonna be about. Alrighty. So, put the... I feel quite here. I'll put this one over. Alright, let me take a drink of my tea here. My water here. Okay. First, let me shuffle these decks really quick. Yeah, I like the pattern on it, it's pretty. Oracle deck shuffle is really nice. It also feels like it's that type of finish where together too much. So, yeah. Oh, this is gonna be a nice Oracle deck for shuffling. And I hope for readings as well. That should be shuffled enough. Oh, this is a bit of a thicker tarot deck, but it's still like small. Ooh. Thickness though is going to be a problem. Is it? No. No. Excuse me, I am not ready for you yet. Weird. That card just bent. Alright. Let's see what message they have for us right now. Alright. I got a card on the floor, I don't want to grab it. Ooh, oh, my back just cracked. We have the Knight of Cups, the Lovers reversed, and the Queen of Swords reversed. Alright, so, this is in terms of just kind of, like, okay. There's an element here with both the Knight of Cups and the Lovers. There is that just kind of, like, element here of just kind of, like, relationships of some sort. And again, relationships doesn't have to apply to romantic relationships, okay? This is relationships of all kinds. There is this significant relationships being highlighted here, okay? In a sense, alright? So, this did also just kind of pop out reversed, but it landed on the floor, so I gave it a chance to actually, like, choose a direction, and it decided to go upright. But that is telling me that that reversed is being called as well. So, there might be just some kind of, like, relationship struggle going on right now, okay? Things might not exactly be going, may not exactly be going the way that you want them to right now, okay, in that regard. And there are two things that are coming through here. Kind of three-ish separate things, almost. One of those being in regards to relationships here, okay? There's just kind of like this harshness that's coming from that Queen of Swords energy. The Queen of Swords reversal energy, okay? And this energy, in the worst cases, can kind of be a bit of a bully, okay? They can be a bit of a bully. There might be arguments and disagreements. There might be arguments and disagreements among, like, significant relationships that are going on right now, and there's just a strain that's being put on these connections, okay? And you're being guided here to remember to communicate effectively through these things, okay? Because right now with that Lover's reversal, there's either a lack of communication or essentially there's, rather than communication, there are arguments. Okay. Remember that nothing good really comes from attacking each other and essentially bullying each other. Okay? Nothing good comes from that. Remember that the problem here is just that. It's the problem. It's you against the problem. You're supposed to work together to find a solution, not make things worse for each other. Okay? And the second thing that's coming through with that is in another case, it doesn't necessarily have to apply. There's a reason I'm separating these. The other thing is too, with that like Queen of Swords reversal energy, going back to that like sort of bully energy that I mentioned, okay? There's a need there to set boundaries, okay? Because remember that you deserve better. That can kind of apply to the first situation that I just talked about, alright? But this is a separate sort of situation here, okay? But it can still apply to that first situation. Yeah. Just remember to value yourself, remember to set boundaries, okay? Because remember that you don't deserve to be mistreated, especially by someone that's close to you. Okay. And the third thing that is coming through here is also, if this is something that you're in pursuit of, is actually finding that connection, finding that sort of relationship, finding that sort of partnership with someone, and just kind of not really just kind of struggling to find that sort of connection. Remember that you do need to be direct about things, okay? You do need to be direct about things. Like, go after like pursue, don't worry, don't like don't get too like in your head about pursuing the sorts of connections and like relationships that you want to form in your life, okay? And also just in general, don't get too in your head about going after the things that you want, okay? But remember that you do have to be direct about it, okay? You do have to be direct about it, okay? Like, especially in terms of like relationships, especially romantic relationships. Especially with romantic relationships, okay, what's coming through with that fucking Knight of Cups reversal energy that I talked about earlier? No one likes a fuckboy, okay? No one likes feeling like there are like mind games slash like heart games going on, okay? So don't... Make sure you're stating your intents clearly, okay? Make sure you're stating your intents clearly. Don't play a hot and cold game, okay? And that's what I mean by fuckboy energy, okay? But yeah. You never know what, like, sort of connection you might miss out on because weren't exactly direct about your feelings or your intents, okay? It's not fair to them, and it's not fair to you to just kind of expect them to wait around forever. So, yeah. It's just kind of, wasting each other's time. So, yeah. I would also say that in terms of just, like, a general meaning outside of, like, relationships and connections, there is that element with the Knight of Cups about just kind of, like, following your heart. But, following your heart, but you might just kind of be meeting some sort of obstacle here, in your path. And you're not exactly sure how to kind of, like, move around it, okay? And the call there would be to just kind of check in and make sure you're in alignment with your goal. Just check in with yourself and make sure that you're in alignment with your goal. Because both the Lovers and the Suit of Swords in general can also refer to alignment. So, if you're just kind of, like, hitting a wall right now in terms of, like, going after that, just take a moment to sit down and think it through clearly. And just check in with yourself. Make sure that you're in alignment and make any adjustments that you might need to put yourself back in alignment with your original goal here, okay? We have the Black Man for our card here. Curious. This is card 26. Ah. Keywords are confidence, freedom, and inventiveness. The Black Man is the face of freedom. He is confident in his step and lavish in his style. Even his pose and posture suggest swag, sophistication, and timeless confidence. Could this be you, or someone who has made this impression on you? At the time the original Loteria cards were created, the notion of not seeing color was unheard of. To this day, in many Mexican and Latin families, people are called by their skin color, size, or any other noticeable attributes. Flaquita, which is thin, gordito, which is fat, morenita, which is brunette, and yes, negrito, which is black. As an endearment. It is possible you have been recognized, or ideally celebrated, for a certain quality that sets you apart. If, on the other hand, you did not appreciate being singled out in this way, keep your cool and remember to always celebrate the skin you're in. And there's a section here that's called In Another Light. It says, there are times in life when we can feel confined by a certain image or set identity. If so, take this as a call to mix things up. Transform your situation or reinvent yourself. Think of the many contributions made by Black and Afro-Latino culture in this country. and the world at large. Consider the resilience required to do so against all odds. Draw inspiration and strength from the spirit of inventiveness. Remember that true freedom starts with your state of mind. I don't quite remember the word for purple right now. Otherwise, I would probably be able to tell. So yes, confidence. Okay, confidence in going after these sorts of things. Don't let that lack of confidence just kind of get in your way here, okay? And that sense of fear and insecurity get in your way of just kind of going after the things that you want here, okay? Okay. Yeah, no worries. Let me just take a drink break here really quick. I'm gonna do one more. One more collective here. Okay. Oh boy. We have the Two of Cups, the Ten of Wands, and the Hierophant reversed. So, this is going to touch back on a little bit of that, It depends on what it is, yeah. But, looks like we're going to touch back on that previous collective a little bit here with a slightly different context there. So, we have the Two of Cups, the Ten of Wands, and the Hierophant reversed. And oh my gosh, this net is annoying me. So, there might be a bit of a... There's a bit of a disconnection here, okay? There's a bit of a disconnection here, particularly with spirit and with your guides, okay? With spirit and your guides, okay? And, there's just kind of... that's coming from the Hierophant, by the way. I often see the Hierophant as our guides, our spirit guides. Okay. There's definitely, like, this like, relationship is being the one that is being specifically highlighted here right now, okay? And there is just kind of this need to reconnect with them, okay? There may have been some distance created between you in the past due to some situation. This past situation may have just kind of led to, you know, just like this sense of just kind of being overwhelmed and just kind of being overwhelmed and just kind of being done with things. Okay. Just kind of being done with things. There may have been some disagreement in the past, some sort of conflict in the past that just kind of like drove a wedge between you. There's definitely just kind of like a clashing of egos sort of energy, okay? And this could just kind of led to a fallout. And I do get the sense that they just kind of like want to reconnect with you, okay? Like, the disconnection in the past may have just kind of been because they felt it necessary for you to just kind of like go about things on your own for a little bit. But know that this change isn't permanent. Okay. Know that this change isn't permanent and that like they do want to reconnect with you at some point in the future, okay? Because this right now is just kind of speaking to a reconnection. For whatever reason. Okay. Going right in line with that fucking energy. My goodness. This just reminds me of the Hierophant card from the Tarot of the Divine, which is my main deck, funnily enough. Well, if that doesn't just kind of... Yeah. If that doesn't signify my own guides, I don't know what does. Keywords here are warrior, focus, and unafraid. El Apache is a warrior spirit in full regalia. This is a person who has earned their feathers from various victories and hardships, who can reflect on all that they have experienced, yet remain ready and unafraid. It may be that you have reached such a stage in life where you have seen your share of battles and have lived to tell the tale. Your insight is vital to those who continue to forge ahead on the battlefields of life. Or perhaps your warrior spirit is being called into action now. El Apache does not require much beyond the basics to enter battle. Even the weapon of choice is simple: a bow and arrows. These tools require focus, clarity, and careful aim. Having a clear intention helps us face challenges head-on and to follow through with our intentions. If you're feeling unsteady about the trials ahead, try standing in a warrior or power pose. Breathe in and out, feeling and embodying that energy. This is a simple way to remind the brain of your holistic strength. And the In Another Light section says, historically, the tribes who comprised the Apache people were known to fight hard and were among the last standing when their homeland was claimed by colonizers. If you feel your space is being invaded or that your rights have been violated in some way, don't be afraid to defend your position or speak up for yourself. You have the courage, ancestral wisdom, going right in line with that Hierophant energy, and protection required to see you through. And whether you're on speaking terms or not, or whether you're able to speak to them or sense them or not, your guides will be there every step of the way, whether you can sense them or not. Okay? So, don't be afraid to step out on your own and just kind of figure things out for yourself. But know that this change isn't permanent, okay? This disconnect isn't permanent. Things might be overwhelming right now, but keep pushing ahead, okay? And if you need to, check in with them, okay? Check in with them. Okay. I'm already really liking this oracle deck. I also don't mind this tarot deck either. I like the tarot deck, but I do wish that these weren't just pips. I wish they were fully illustrated. But I still like this deck. But I might actually like the Sugar Skull Tarot. Okay. Now I think it's time to go ahead and open up the queue here. Okay. Queue is open for anyone who wants to join. I'm not sure how long I'll be keeping open the queue today, though. Okay. Okay. So I was taking a moment to drink some water and also put on a little bit of lip balm. Oh, you're fine. Yeah, I'm really curious, like, what some of these other cards are actually going to be like. Okay. Ouch. There aren't threads in here. Yeah, for the Oracle deck, it's not too bad. Oracle deck books are usually about this size, though. Okay. let's see what we have for you tonight. Okay. Really? We're gonna get this card again. We got the Seven of Pentacles, or as this deck calls them again, Bitcoins. The Nine of Swords, and the Hierophant reversed again. We just had that in the last collective here. So, there's definitely just kind of like this. There's this anxiety about just kind of like succeeding here, and that you're just kind of going down the right path and just kind of going about things the right way with that seven of coins energy. Okay. And the seven of coins energy is also just kind of, it's a reminder to just like reflect and check in with yourself and see what's working and what isn't, and what isn't working for you anymore, what isn't serving you anymore along this path needs to be let go of, okay? And like there is also that need to going along with that, you know, like energy of like I said, letting go of the things that no longer serve you anymore. There is also that need to just kind of like do your best to just like let go of those anxieties and not let those anxieties and those fears and those doubts get the better of you here, okay? Like don't let those get the better of you, okay? And like trust that you know what you need to be doing and that you're being guided along the right path, okay? Like trust that you're being guided in the right direction, okay? Trust in that guidance that you are receiving. And like if you need to check in with your guides, you can check in with your guides, okay? Like they'll always be there, like I said in the previous reading, they'll always be there for you, like along the way. Even if you can't sense them or like hear them or like whatever. Like you can check in with them every once in a while if you need to, okay? One second. Okay. That was like the first card to like pop out there, which is the Soldier. Courage, duty, and alliance are the keywords here. A soldado represents a fighter and a survivor. Not everyone is suited to this task, as it requires sustaining courage, willingness to sacrifice, and adherence to duty. Protecting or fighting for the greater good sometimes involves a loss of self-identity, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Even warriors of light must at times relinquish their sense of self. Society often lauds the virtues of our soldiers, but we rarely consider the ramifications of their work. Be aware that anyone who has seen or known violence, whether on the battlefield or at home, can carry a great degree of pain and trauma. Because of this, they can be the ones who most long for peace. When you encounter a soldier in this sense, be compassionate and patient in the healing process, especially as it affects your own heart. This is true for yourself, okay? This is true for yourself as well. As you're, like, doing this work on yourself and encountering these patterns within yourself, like, remember to be kind and compassionate and patient with yourself, okay? Because things aren't going to be perfect right away. In fact, like, perfection isn't really something that's attainable. It's not something that you should ever strive for, because it's not something that exists. All you can do is try your best. The In Another Light section for this says, this card could be urging you to rethink your stance or allegiance. Ask yourself, what are you actually protecting? Have you been obeying commands without thinking that do not resonate or mesh with your own ideologies? Take time to consider what choice and power you truly have in the matter. Alliances can be broken, or at least reconsidered, when it comes down to matters of survival and self-preservation. So, yeah. Again, confront the things that don't serve you anymore. Okay. And do your best to work through them and release them. Confront them, combat them. Okay. Combat those patterns with something different. Combat them with kindness and compassion for yourself, okay? Rather than calling yourself a failure, tell yourself that you're doing the best you can in the moment. You're a work in progress, and that's okay. Don't beat yourself up over a mistake. Big or small. It's not going to help you. It's not going to serve you well. It's not going to do you any good. It's just going to make it worse. Yeah, so I hope that message helps. I'm just, again, the core of this message is keep following what you've been guided to do, okay? And just keep putting in the work. That's really about it. Of course. I still love that the fucking Hierophant on that card is a frog. He's a frog. Okay. It's your turn, Kazi. Whenever you return. Okay. Nice. I hope the cheese sandwich is delicious. I was actually literally just thinking to myself, what should I get after I'm done with stream here? Because I'm actually getting kind of hungry. Alright, let's see what we got for your cat. Oh, goodness. Okay, I just... Okay. Well, okay then. Well, you got all cups, so that might answer your question here. We have the Two of Cups, the Nine of Cups, and the Ten of Cups reversed. So yes, I am. And like I said, Kazi, this might answer your question here already, considering you literally just got all cups. So yeah. Of course, it's still open. The command to join is in that message there. Oh, you're all good. You're all good. It's okay. I know it can kind of be a bit confusing sometimes, because most people use like the join command. I use the join command as a bit of a disclaimer first. So, yeah. Alright, so we have the Two of Cups, we have the Nine of Cups, and we have the Ten of Cups reversed. So this one didn't want to choose a direction, which just kind of tells me that, again, both sides of that energy is just kind of being called on here, okay? There is like a seeking out of connections here of some sort, okay? And given that it went... that like reversal is also being called on here, and the Ten of Cups is reversed as well. there is just kind of that sense of just kind of like things not exactly going the way that you wanted them to there. Things not really going like the way that you expected here, okay? And just kind of like a bit of a sense of like discontent. And like a sense of a disillusionment as well. Just kind of from things not going the way that you want, and also getting rejected. Okay. Rejection of any kind sucks. Okay. But yeah. Just don't let those get the better of you, okay? Don't let those times where it didn't exactly go the way that you wanted to, it didn't exactly go the way that you expected it to, and those potential rejections, don't let it get the better of you here and prevent you from actually just kind of continuing to seek out that connection that you're after here. And just kind of getting that, like, happily ever after. Okay. And that, like, that sense of fulfillment, that sense of emotional fulfillment, okay? Don't let those moments just kind of get the better of you here, okay? Yeah. Let's see what we have here. The melon. We got card 11. I just realized this was card 11. Which is funny considering literally just like a while ago you said that you just saw the time 11:11 at the same time you saw that your phone battery percentage was on 11%. You got another 11 here. Okay. Keywords here are bounty, sustenance, and fruitful. The melon is sustenance, juicy and raw, sliced up for the taking. You have labored long, and now can enjoy the fruits that have finally flourished. This may mean an opportunity to share or indulge in abundance. When you are invited to the banquet table, don't be shy about taking the slice you've been offered. If not, there will always be someone else to come along, ready to take what you leave behind. The melon might also indicate sharing of a more intimate nature, as hinted by the shape and color of the open cantaloupe, which is funny because my immediate thought was literally that looks like a vulva. Fruit is ever a symbol of fertility, be it the proliferation of life or the various expressions of human creativity. Whatever the case, relish its sweetness. May you feel nourished by the sustenance it brings your body and spirit. And the In Another Light section for this card says, this card could be asking you to focus on the center of the melon, where all the seeds are gathered in this fleshy fruit. It is possible you've reached the core of a matter that has long troubled or confused you. Finally, someone has sliced in to reveal the simplicity of it all. The moment may have been painful, but what remains are the seeds of understanding that you can use to plant new ideas and fruitful truths. Okay, I like the message of that card. I like that card. Yeah, make instead of when life gives you lemons, it's when life gives you melons. Make melonade. Exactly. Exactly. It's just the L and the M swapped. When life gives you melons. uh I hope that message helps. I hope that message helps. All right. Like I said, considering you got all cups and no swords. Yeah. um, okay. Yeah. All right. Let's see what we got for you here. I like your username, by the way. Suspicious username is a great username. Okay. Not wanting to fucking shuffle well here. You're all good. You're all good. Let's try that shuffle again. Alright, what do we got here for you? Hello. Okay. I thought about that one. So like all the swords that no one ever wants. Okay. Okay. You got the Knight of Pentacles or Knight of Coins reversed, the Queen of Wands reversed, and you also got Death. The Death card popped out very enthusiastically. So there is definitely that energy of just like transformation and like rebirth and all that sort of thing. All those sorts of things just being featured very, very heavily with that Death card, of course. Okay. So there's essentially just kind of that energy here. Get out of here, Nat. Oh, really? Oh my gosh. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, things might right now be... It's funny that you mentioned the Hanged Man, because I was literally about to say with that, like, Knight of Coins energy, like, there's definitely kind of that energy of, like, stasis. There's a pause right now, okay? There's a pause, and, like... So I'm just trying to put it into words right now. Page of Coins reversed haunting you? Huh. Oh, the Knight. Knight of Coins is just kind of like... So, upright, the Knight of Coins is always all about, like, progression, and just kind of, like, moving forward with things, and just kind of making slow and steady progress with things, okay? So, right now, this Knight of Coins energy is essentially... Right now, she's kind of telling me, like... It's essentially telling me, not necessarily that there's, like, an obstacle getting in your way here or anything. More so right now, it's just kind of, like, reading to me as just kind of, like... Sometimes it is necessary to just kind of, like, take time out and take time to rest, okay? Because we can't always be pushing forward with things. And you might be just kind of, like, second-guessing yourself and just, like, your progress right now and feeling... Yeah, and feeling like you're not really making enough progress on things, and feeling like you just kind like you should be doing more, like you should be doing better. But we can't always, like, charge full steam ahead towards things. We do need those moments for rest, because, well, that change isn't going to happen overnight. And pushing forward ahead like that isn't really going to help us in the long run. It's going to wear us out sooner. It's going to just kind of... We'll keep, like, wearing ourselves down further and further and further the more we try to keep up with that speed, okay? Like... Yes, making, you know, like, making leaps and bounds of progress in like, our progress, and essentially just constantly pushing forward. Like, yeah, the payoff to that progress initially might be pretty solid, but there will be diminishing returns on it. Okay. Eventually, that payoff is going to be offset by the downtime that we'll need to just kind of recover from it. Like, the way that society views productivity is 100% not sustainable. It is 100% not sustainable, okay? Moments of action and moments of rest are two sides of the same coin, okay? We might see the most profound change when we're actually making that progress, like pushing ahead and making that progress, but there is still change. There is still transformation. There is still progress. There is still change in those quiet moments. And it's in those quiet moments that sometimes that allows things to come into perspective for us more fully. Profound change can still come out of those quiet moments. So. Yeah, it's not something that can be forced, unfortunately. It's not something that can be brute forced. Sometimes you just kind of have to slow down and let the change occur. Progress is still progress. You'll still be making progress, even if it's slow. We do need to take time out for rest and reflection, as much as we need to have those moments of action. So. Oh goodness. Yeah, I understand that. Like, I understand that. Especially as someone who highly suspects that they have some form of neurodivergence. I struggle greatly with, like, the daily upkeep that's necessary for myself, my own, like, body, and also my, just, like, living space in general, and just life in general. So, yeah. I'm someone who is very, very easily overwhelmed by the daily struggles of life. Uh-huh. Okay. What did we just get here? We got the shrimp. Shrimp. Okay. Yes, you'll be next in the queue. Keywords for the shrimp are flow, attention, and shift. I have no idea how to pronounce that word. Perhaps the most well-known dicho of the Loteria tradition is the rhyme recited when this card emerges from the deck. Oh god, this is gonna test my fucking Spanish. Camarón que se duerme, se lo lleva la corriente. It is true that the shrimp who sleeps can be carried away by the currents. For us land dwellers, this is a reminder to pay attention to our surroundings, especially during times of vast or sudden change. Oh my god, Adam. Please. Not with the brain rot right now. Okay. For us land dwellers, this is a reminder to pay attention to our surroundings, especially during times of vast or sudden change. Also, remain alert in situations where you run the risk of getting swept up in someone else's plans. Shrimp are among the smallest creatures in a massive sea. There will always be larger, stronger ocean life that feed upon them. Our human world is similar in that there seems to be a hierarchy at play. However, we can see when someone is being made to feel small for the purposes of attaining power. Be aware of these instances and do what you can to bring balance to the situation. Yeah, there's definitely just kind of like that energy here of like kind of needing to go with the flow here. And being in flow with things also means knowing when to rest. The In Another Light section for this card says, one astounding fact about a Camarón is that it can change from male to female midway through its adult life. Huh. Making it one of the rare hermaphroditic animals in our world. Interesting. Could this card be pointing you to a major shift or transformation in your life? I mean, it's right there. Perhaps you are ready to swim in new waters or take the enticing morsel being presented to you. When in doubt, go with the flow. Oh my gosh. Ugh. Thank you. But I hope that message helps. And thank you for stopping by. But yeah, to resist the flow of life is to resist for to resist the flow of life is to resist the flow of change. So you can flow between the states of rest and action, okay? Also, basking shark, that emote is adorable. I just noticed it was BMO. That's cute. Alright, I'm just gonna take a drink of water here really quick. I should also probably close my queue here shortly. Leave it open for a little bit longer. So I know Bree should be back soon, so I'll leave it open. Alright, basking shark, let's see what we got for you right now. Got the 9 of coins, the 6 of swords, nice, and the King of Pentacles. First, let me make sure. Okay. Okay, so things are definitely looking ahead for you here. Okay. We got the 9 of Pentacles, the 9 of Coins, the 6 of Swords, and the King of Pentacles or Coins as well. Okay. These are both pointing towards success. Okay. And good things coming your way. Okay. The 9 of Coins is all about just kind of reaching that moment where you can enjoy the fruits of your labor here. Okay. And combining that with the King of Pentacles is, again, just kind of heightening that message where you've essentially just kind of reached that state where you can just kind of enjoy that success and that abundance that you've just kind of built for yourself, that you've planted for yourself, that you've harvested for yourself, okay? And the 6 of Swords is going also very, very in line with this and like pointing towards success, because 6 of Swords is all about moving on to bigger and better things, okay? It's moving on to better shores ahead and just leaving some not so great situation behind, okay? So things here are definitely just kind of looking up for you, okay? So if you're not experiencing this yet, trust that better things do lie ahead for you, okay? There are better things ahead for you. Okay. I'm gonna show this here. I haven't stuck to my thumb. We have the hat. The swords is, like I said, just all about like moving on to like better shores ahead, moving on to bigger and better things ahead, and just kind of leaving behind. It's all about leaving behind like that not so great like troubled situation in your past. Okay. So essentially, like, leave behind anything that's like not serving you. Leave it back in the past where it belongs, okay? Okay, where is our card? Okay. We have warmth, imagination, and silence. Wearing a hat is an act of protection, typically from the elements, like overbearing sun, wind, cold, or rain. Are there elements in your life that require some barriers? Most of our senses are experienced through the face and head, so it is important that we protect our dome of thought and sensory experience, especially when feeling inundated by external forces. It's a healthy practice to periodically silence outside voices and influences. Just as a hat acts as a heat insulator, the hat could signal a need to let your own thoughts marinate, brew, or heat up into new imaginative ideas. It might also signal the need to be discreet. Allow yourself, or the matter at hand, some privacy, if that's what is needed to conserve energy at this moment. And the In Another Light section for this card says, the expression wearing different hats refers to various roles we are asked to play in life. While this can include the responsibilities we carry, we can also have fun with the idea of trying on different personalities or traits, the way we do in our youth. This could be as simple as wearing a hat or other wardrobe item you normally reserve for hikes or travels, which would serve as a reminder to look upon your daily life with the curiosity and freshness you have carried to other landscapes. Fashion can be functional, but also serve as an extension of ourself and our stories. Interesting. Okay. The thing, I will say the thing here that stands out the most to me about this card, and part of what might just kind of like need to be left behind here, is the part that stood out to me is the line that says it's a healthy practice to periodically silence outside voices and influences. Essentially, like, part of what just kind of might need to be left behind is like potentially the way that like you let other people influence the way that you moved forward in the past, and just kind of not worrying about living up to anyone's expectations but your own. So but I hope that message helps. Of course. Thank you for stopping by. Oh, I just noticed. That message, that like joke message that you sent earlier, made you join the queue again, Kazi. uh, okay. Alrighty. I'm gonna go ahead and keep going for a little bit. So I can still keep going for a little bit, and I'm just gonna give it time for Bree to get back. They should be back here soon. So, do we want to do a collective with the Seasons of the Witch Winter Tarot, maybe? Okay. I am not going to be dressing up for anything for Halloween. Exactly. Okay. Yeah, I see a point where like a bit of the foiling has already come off on this card, sadly. It's like a little missing piece of foil, like right there on the edge. It also looks like a glittery foil, which is interesting. Might just be like bits of like extra foiling. I don't know. But anyway. Oh, this deck shuffle is real nice. I like this one. Okay. That should be shuffled well enough. So let's see. What message you got for us right now? Four of Cups. Initiate of Winter Pentacles. I'm gonna guess this is the Page. And then we have the Hierophant. Reversed. Let me take a look at the guidebook here and see if this is a Page. Or if it is a Page. Okay, so they're changing the names of these. Okay, so we have Initiate and Apprentice. So Initiate is Page, Apprentice is Knight. Artisan is Queen, and Master is King. I like that. I like that. Okay. So there's definitely just kind of like this. You're kind of, with this Four of Cups energy, you're definitely just kind of like closing yourself off a little bit here. You're closing yourself off a little bit here. Potentially because, like, this kind of brings that same sort of, like, disillusionment energy. Something didn't exactly go the way that you wanted it to or that you thought it would go. Something didn't exactly go the way that you thought it would go, or the way that you wanted it to go, and you just kind of then closed yourself off. You're just kind of like turning things away as a result of that, because you're just kind of letting that experience just kind of get in your way here, okay? A little bit. There was essentially just kind of like some event that just kind of like closed you off a little bit here, that made you just close yourself off a little bit here. Emotionally. And there is that need to just kind of open to just kind of open yourself up here again, okay? Specifically in relation to, like, this Hierophant energy, okay? This is, again, bringing that energy of just... This is bringing that energy of just kind of a bit of a disconnect from spirit here, okay? And this event in the past, I think, is like the event that happened in the past. There was something that created a disconnect between the two of you, and you may have had a falling out. And it led you to essentially just kind of closing yourself off, okay? Because now you might be second guessing it a little bit too much, or just doubting things a little bit too much, and just kind of getting in your own head about things, okay? I speak on that one from personal experience. Not mentioned anywhere in the cards here. That one's just from personal experience. And no, like, just know that there is like a fresh start here with the Page of Pentacles, okay? There's a renewal here. There's a fresh start. There's something new that lies ahead, okay? You're just kind of in the beginning stages of figuring things out on your own, okay? Because the reason why they did disconnect from you in the first place was probably just to get you to just kind of like figure things out on your own and walk your own path so that you can learn to trust yourself. And that's what that disconnect is all about here, okay? But again, know that it's not going to stay that way forever, okay? You're in the beginning stages here, perhaps, of just kind of like figuring things out for yourself, okay? And You're definitely just kind of being guided to continue with this, okay? Continue moving forward with this, okay? It'll be okay. It'll be okay. But going in line with that Four of Cups energy, okay? Don't just shut yourself off completely and prevent yourself from enjoying the things, the good things that are still there for you to experience, okay? That was instant. Well, if that doesn't go in line with that page of Pentacles energy there. Super well. We got Death. Again, changes, shifts. Like a renewal here, okay? And oh. We have keywords here of resolution, renewal, which I caught a glimpse of there, and spirit realm. La Muerte's sickle looms over us all, never far away, always within arm's reach. While mainstream Western culture meets death with sentiments of denial, fear, and dread, Mexican culture and lore treat this inevitability with humor and light heart. During Dia de los Muertos. They forgot the los in here, but the same thing, it doesn't matter. During Dia de los Muertos, the living make offerings to the dead, acknowledging the thin veil between our worlds and the ability to reach across realms. Yeah, it's a few days away. The interdependence between our worlds is stronger than we think. La Muerte could represent a spirit from the other side who has recently, or will soon, appear to you in a sign or in a dream. Trust the message and be not afraid. The spirit world mirrors our living one in many ways. Most of us are doing our best and want to help others when we are able. The same is true of our dearly departed. So it is okay to ask for help and welcome any guidance offered. If you feel so inclined, make a space in your home or garden to leave an offering in thanks or remembrance. Okay. In another light section for this card says, this card could signify the death of someone or something in your life, as in the resolution of a problem or the end of a relationship. If this loss was difficult, take the time you need to grieve. Mourning any loss is important on our healing path. Absolutely true. But just as we must not fear death, we cannot be afraid to create change in our lives or to walk away from situations that are no longer invigorating. Everything has its beginning and meets its end. As a living being, it is within your power to manifest both. Alright, I like the message of that card. It does go in line with this whole thing, so great. Alrighty, that was our testing out of the Seasons of the Witch Winter Tarot, and I already love it. I already love it. I love the art. It shuffles really nicely. Like, this shuffles perfectly. I already love this deck, and now I cannot wait to dive into this one more. I cannot wait to dive into this one more and start using it for myself, and yeah. And I can't wait for the other decks to come, because the other 3 decks for the other 3 seasons are going to be releasing over like the course of like the next year, essentially. So I'm super excited for those now. And I can't wait to see how they fit together in context with each other. I'm absolutely looking forward to it. All right, what a wonderful little break from things with that deck. That was a nice little collective there. Okay, and to all this one here. Okay. Okay. Now, before I forget, let me go ahead and issue a last call for Q here. I'll leave it open for, like, a tad bit longer here. Also, welcome back, Bree. Are you ready? All right. After I like draw the cards here, I'll go ahead and close Q. So let's go ahead and see what we got right here right now. Here. Oh boy. Oh my goodness. Alright, you know what? That one was about to fall too. We'll give you... I feel like they've been doing this lately for you, Bree. Where you've been getting extra cards. Okay. I don't like that this is our first card for you here, Bree. It's the Ten of Wands. It's the Ten of Wands. Alright. Let's see what these are. Oh boy. Okay. These are all sideways. Oh boy. You already chose the direction. Where can I put this one? Okay, so we have Strength reversed, the Ten of Wands, the Six of Wands reversed, Temperance reversed, and the Four of Swords. So there's a lot going on here. Okay. There's definitely something like things have been testing you lately, okay? That Strength reversed card and that fucking Ten of Wands card, things have been fucking testing you lately. Okay? It has been a test of strength. A test of will and just it's become so overwhelming that you might just kind of feel like giving up and just kind of struggle to see the point in anything anymore. Okay? Or at least may have been for a while there. Things haven't exactly been going your way. Things haven't exactly been going your way. With that, like, 6 of wands reversal energy, okay? Things haven't exactly been going your way. More so, like, things have been getting in your way, okay? Things have been getting in your way. And yeah, it's just kind of like causing you to there's just kind of like a lot of emotions that are going on here, potentially like heated emotions, okay? With like that temperance card is kind of pointing towards that for me, okay? There might be like a lot of heated emotions going on currently, and there's a lack of patience, okay? A lack of patience for waiting for things to actually go your way, to actually go in your favor, and to get those wins that you like so desperately just kind of need right now, okay? And like, again, that's all valid, okay? That's all valid. But right now the focus here is that 4 of Swords energy, okay? There's a need to just kind of take a step back. There's a need to create some distance from those situations that are becoming overwhelming for you, okay? That means just kind of taking time out for yourself to just kind of replenish yourself, okay? Like mentally, emotionally, physically, like everything, okay? Because there's just kind of a bit of like a lack of balance, and yeah. There's a lack of balance, there's a lack of harmony. It's just kind of hard to stay in the moment, to stay grounded in the moment. And yeah, okay. Just take a step back from those situations, okay? Take time for yourself, do what you need to just kind of protect your energy here, okay? Like, it's okay, okay? It's okay. Just take time for yourself to do whatever you need to replenish yourself and to feel more like yourself, okay? That might also mean just kind of, one of the things that frequently comes up with the 4 of Swords is a need to just kind of take a break from the internet, okay? Take a break from social media, especially. It's like taking that like social media detox. Well, you existed. You took all of your energy existing. That's okay. I do that quite a lot. Am I hard on myself about it? Yeah. But I try to remind myself in those moments that it's okay. I don't always have to be doing something. My self-worth is not tied to my ability to do those things. Yet, due to the way that I was brought up and due to the way that society shapes us to believe, we struggle to see things that way. Because again, if you're not breaking yourself, are you really productive? Again, society's definition of productivity is unsustainable. It's not realistic. You can't have endless growth, okay? You can't have endless growth. There is no such thing as endless growth. And medically, what we call that, you know, concept of endless growth, we call that cancer. So just say it. Because that's what it is. It's an endless replication of cells. That's what cancer growths are. But yes, try to be kind to yourself. Try to remind yourself that it's okay. You're doing the best you can in the moment, okay? You're doing the best you can with what you can, with what you have, okay? There's no need to be, like, overly critical of yourself, to be hard on yourself about not being able to just kind of like maintain all of those things and juggle all of those things at once, okay? Again, your self-worth is not tied to that. It's not tied to your ability. Like, I'm gonna tell you something that Mr. Sass has told me time and time again, okay? And something that I still struggle with greatly. You being deserving of love is not tied to your productivity. Your self-worth is not tied to your productivity. Your ability to do those things, or not do them, does not make you unworthy of love or good things, okay? You are worthy of love despite those things. Because you are not defined by your ability of what you can and can't do. You are human, you're not a machine. You have inherent value, regardless of what you can and can't do, despite your struggles, despite any of those things, okay? Because you are human. You exist. There is no hidden metric that you need to be meeting to be worthy of existing. To be worthy of a good life. To be worthy of love. Okay? There's no hidden metric that needs to be met that just suddenly magically makes you deserving of any of those things. And anyone else who tells you fucking otherwise can go fuck themselves. Preferably in the ass with a cactus. With lube made of salt and vinegar and acid. Contrary to what, you know, those in power would currently want you to believe and would have you believe. Eh, fuck it. I'll give you 3. They were stuck together. We'll see what this one is. Alright, we got the fish, the heart, and the umbrella. Fish. Keywords are chance, trust, and opportunity. El Pescado could be calling you to take a fishing trip or to partake in a leisurely activity that allows quiet, reflective time in nature. Going very in line with that Four of Swords energy. When it comes to the act of fishing, most of your time is spent in silence, waiting, with little happening except the art of trying and trying again. In that sense, it becomes more of a meditative practice, going really in line with that Temperance card, by the way. A chance to catch up with yourself or a loved one, which can be done with or without strings. The difference between El Pez and El Pescado is that one has already been captured. Could it be you have cast your line and finally caught what you were fishing for? If so, enjoy the reward won by perseverance and patience. If, on the other hand, there's more to explore beneath the surface, ask yourself if this is the catch you really wanted. Remember, we don't always know for certain until we are holding it in our hands. When the answer is no, throw that fish back into the waters. Allow the opportunity to live on for another day for someone else. And the In Another Light section for this says, consider that you may be the great catch in this case. Quite often we seek something or someone outside ourselves in the hopes of feeling fulfilled. But it may be that you never needed to go looking. Trust that the right chance will come along, and if you dare to take a bite, that opportunity may carry you somewhere unexpected. Okay. So yes. Finding moments to cultivate that, calm and that sense of peace. Okay, going very in line with that Temperance card. And that Four of Swords energy, okay? Then we have the heart. Love, source, and tenderness are the keywords here. El corazón is the first and last sign of life for as long as we have these bodies. Treat your heart with kindness every day, even in small ways. Take this moment to hold your heart and to marvel at its music, at how steady the source of life really is. The appearance of this card may mean you are on the mend from a broken heart, or there has been physical healing from a heart condition. It could also indicate your heart swelling for someone new or familiar to you, as the arrow of love finally found its target. Whether or not romance is involved, remember how good it feels to love. And to be loved. Practice saying I love you to someone you hold close in your heart. Say it to yourself. This is true heart medicine for us all. The In Another Light section for this says, let's get to the heart of the matter. Is a common expression, but how deep are we willing to go? This heart has been pierced, so it is possible we are dealing with buried heartache, be it your own or someone else's. When you are able to treat your heart tenderly, to accept it with all its wounds and bruises, you become more aware of the hearts of others. And in this way, we help one another heal. Which is true. And the umbrella. Keywords here are hope, preparation, and blessings. Grab your umbrella because there might be rain in your forecast. In life, our skies are not always clear. There will be gray days, but also brightness and the hope-inspiring rainbow that often arrives after the storm. Surrender to the inevitable cycles of life, and you will find contentment in any weather. Preparation is your ally. When possible, protect yourself from stormy emotions, sources of danger, and minor annoyances. Consider the notion that you may be the umbrella in this case. Have you been called upon by a loved one to provide protection and comfort? If so, ask yourself if there is room for two under your umbrella. And if so, take turns carrying this coverage. The In Another Light section for this says, quite often we engage in unquestioned habits or customs, such as reaching for an umbrella every time it rains. Put your umbrella aside if a good rain bath is what you really need right now. Water from the heavens can be incredibly healing. Our world abounds with blessings, yet sometimes we block ourselves from receiving them simply because we never pause to consider our regular customs and reactions. Oof. Yeah. Okay. So, I hope that message helps. As always, as of late anyway, they have a lot to say. So they had a lot to say. But yeah. Yeah. I know that feeling. Like I've been struggling myself with, like a need to just kind of like catch up on tasks around the apartment and stuff. And also just been, like getting knocked on my ass by depression and anxiety and imposter syndrome. And yeah, just doubting a lot of things. So yeah. But yeah, so just remember to take time out for yourself and to take it easy on yourself, okay? Remember that it's okay to just kind of take time away and to create distance from like those things, those situations that are overwhelming for you, okay? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Which tarot deck do we want to do our closing collective with? Do we want to do we want to use this one? Do we want to use the Sugar Skull, or do we want to do another one with the Seasons of the Witch Winter Tarot? Yeah, that's honestly where I'm leaning to. Okay. Let's put this back in there. This in there. Okay. My tea is now gone. Let's just take a drink of my tea. Let's pull this one back out. Alright. What message would you like to close us out with tonight? Okay then. What is this? Why have we've been getting this one so much tonight? Okay. So we have the Nine of Cups, the Ten of Cups, and Artisan. This was the Queen, right? Let me double check that. I'm pretty sure it was... What was it? It was Initiate, Apprentice, Artisan, and Master, right? Let me look. Yeah, so we got... So, the Initiate is the Page. Apprentice is the Knight, yeah. And Artisan is Queen, and Master is... Okay, so... That's just the game. Alright, so we have the Queen of Swords. So, I feel like this is really similar to the collective that we got earlier. Ooh, hiccups. So, this is about taking a direct, proactive approach to going after your dreams and to going after the things that you want and seeking out that emotional fulfillment. The emotional fulfillment, that sense of contentment, and that just kind of like happily ever after sort of moment, okay? Because the Queen of Swords is all about being direct. This is about being proactive about things, okay? Be proactive about your pursuit of these things, okay? Don't just sit there and just kind of let them pass you by, okay? Like, I am personally a very firm believer in that what's meant for you won't pass you by, but that doesn't mean that you can just sit around and do nothing, okay? There might be some delays with things and the timeline of things. It doesn't mean that there can't be like obstacles and just delays with things that are still meant for you, okay? This doesn't mean that like anything is going to go wrong with that, okay? I want to preface that right now. This doesn't mean that anything is going to go wrong. Like, by saying that, I don't mean that like I don't mean that in like a sort of negative way, okay? But like I mean that in the sense that things aren't just going to fall into your lap. Okay? Things aren't going to fall into your lap. You still have to put in the work. Okay? You still have to put in the work. So put in the work. Keep putting in the work. That doesn't mean that you have to just be go, go, go. Okay? That doesn't mean that, like, there's a really strict time limit or anything on anything. That's not what I mean by that. Again, you just have to be proactive about things. Okay? You have to be direct about things. Direct with intent. Direct with about, like, what you want. Okay? You have to be proactive about it. It's not just gonna happen. Okay? You still gotta put in the work. So, be proactive about things. Okay? Be proactive about things. Okay. Take time to reflect on things and make sure that it's still what you want, that it's still in alignment with what you want and what you sought, what you like set out to do in the first place, okay? And yeah, just make sure to think things over, okay? Is like the other thing that I would say. Don't overthink things though, okay? Don't overthink things, because it's super easy to get super in your head and just talk yourself down from it all, okay? So, yes. We have the flower pot. We got, for keywords, vessel, nourishing, or nourish and living. The flower pot invites a little bit of the wild into your home. A reminder that you belong to the natural world, and the natural world lives within you. Now would be a good time to bring a potted plant home or to offer one as a gift. If you already care for one, take time to trim, dust, spruce up, or even talk to your verdant friend. I need plants, but it's the middle of winter. I suppose I could plant my lavender, but I need a flower pot. I need to plant my mugwort. The way we care for our plants can mirror the way we care for ourselves. For instance, if your plants are constantly in need of more water, you likely are too. Don't you call out for my fucking dehydration, bitch. Fuck you. If they can use some pruning, ask yourself what old parts or habits you can shake off. As living beings, our needs are not very different. Nourishment, sunlight, stable ground, and a little love are all we need to thrive. Yeah. Treat yourself like a complicated houseplant. You still need food. You still need water. You need fucking sunlight. And yes, you need love. The In Another Light section for this says, whether or not you have flower pots in your space, this card could be nudging you to assess your own vessel. Take stock of your body to be sure you are treating it in a way that is worthy of the life within. Also, fuck you. Sometimes we need to reset or replant. If that's the case, consider various forms of cleansing that could include fasting, detoxification, a ceremonial sweat, or a ritual you create for yourself. In this lifetime, we receive only one, don't know how to pronounce that word in Spanish. Is it meseta? One body. Beautify it. Care for it. Enjoy it. Yes. Okay. So, yes. Take care of yourself along the way, okay? And know that you are deserving of those good things, okay? Know that you deserve to experience that abundance and success. Okay? And don't block yourself off from experiencing those things. Okay? Find those moments of joy. Create them for yourself. Cultivate those moments for yourself, okay? And know that you deserve them. Again, know that you deserve them. But anyway, speaking of caring for myself, I need to call it here so I can actually go get a little food. I am kind of hungry. So. I am kind of hungry. So it's time to go care for myself a little bit and go find some food and go start winding down for the night. So, thank you all for stopping by. I hope to see you all again soon. I really do. Like, I do wish that I just kind of didn't get so in my head all the time about, like, actually being able to stream. I really do. But it's a process. It's a work in progress. I can't guarantee that I'll be around, like, too much to be able to stream, because November and December, and also kind of like January a little bit too, have always been very difficult periods for me. And recent events within the past, like, 5 years haven't made that period in time any better. Especially with the loss of my best friend last December. So, like I said, I can't guarantee that I'll be around much for like a while. But I will do my best to just kind of be here when I actually feel up to it, when I feel able to. So, but I will need a little bit more time for myself during this season, unfortunately. So. Yeah. But, yeah. Thank you all for stopping by, whether you joined the queue, talked in chat, or just lurked. I appreciate you sharing your time with me. I hope to see you all again soon, but bye for now.